Hey guys, welcome to the Grateful Anglers Podcast. I'm Big John.
And I'm John Bondi, and boy, we missed everybody out there. Missed you, man.
Oh yeah, I missed you too, buddy. Yeah.
Everybody comes in here wanting to know, hey, have you seen Big John? Where's Big John been, man?
Well, Big John's around. He's still kicking. And guys, we had a great season this year. Well, we had our ups and downs at any rate, but we're gonna talk a little bit about that today.
Yeah, a little bit of recap on how the trends that were out there this year, and the bites that were good, and the bites that really never materialized. And we're just gonna do a little season recap.
Yeah, but before we go ahead and do that, guys, Johnny's got a few things he wants to talk about here.
We always have some great giveaways here at the shop, and
another giveaway.
Yeah, we just started up another one.
How come I never get involved in these giveaways? Like, how come I never win anything? I'm joking.
Here. That's for you.
Oh, thanks, man.
Don't ask again.
I'm gonna catch a bunch of fish on that next year.
We got some great brand new colors of St. Clair hounds from Bruce Bauer. Look at that.
He makes great bucktails. Guys, back when I used to musky fish, because I'm a once upon a timer, I think he had this one color. I think it was called sheephead. And that
works, man. These are some great baits, locally made baits.
Yeah.
Green crackle and copper crackle, two brand new colors. They're going to be popular. He also gave us a nice T-shirt to give away.
And you know what else I like about his blades are nice and easy to pull.
Yep.
So
the highlight is, these have been all the rage around here, is the tactical musky rod.
Tactical's making musky rods now?
Look at it.
Where have I been? Look at that, eh?
Eric Suya was very gracious and gave us rod to give away. You guys got to come and have a look at this thing. They're awesome.
That's beautiful.
Makes a great Christmas.
He's got his same color pattern as his other rods.
Super light.
Have you jigged with one yet, John? Or
not. Guys are using them all over this fall.
Yeah, so good.
And of course, we're going to give away a bunch of Bondi musky baits.
Proven bait, guys.
It's going to go till first of the year. We're going to pull it out on January 1st, and then also let's
talk a little bit about one thing. So, how did you get the name of the Bondi Royal Orba?
Well, we were having a tough day. We were fishing in the Thames, and I was fishing with my customer from the UK, Crispin, who everybody has seen on Facebook and that. And I just pieced it together because I had the lure, the hot Orba. I had that lure out, and so we came up with the Royal Orba, and I called it the Royal because I was fishing with royalty from the UK, right? And that's how it got its name. But this thing here, man, the sales have been off the charts this year, and we've been struggling to keep up. But if you got orders from your dealers, they're on their way. We're just making them as fast as we can now. I
know they look crazy, guys, but they work. And I caught what I call my biggest fish. It was a 46 and a half. But it was my fattest muskie I ever caught. I don't have a 50, guys. I'm not in the 50-inch club, and I fished muskie for 9 years. But anyways, that's another story.
That's when you broke your reel.
That's when I broke my reel. Was on setting the hook, and I consider it my biggest fish. I mean, my biggest actual fish I think was 49 and a quarter, but the 46 and a half, that was my nicest looking fish.
We got a picture of that fish.
I'll see if I could throw that picture up in the thing, but I caught it on a Royal Orba, guys. I know they don't look like much, but they run great, and the muskie love them.
Yeah, I've been selling them like I can't keep up, but we're trying.
Speaking of that, well, first off, is that all the stuff for the giveaway?
That's the giveaway as of right now. Everybody's been asking for the decals. We got decals back in, so come on down.
How do they get a piece of that giveaway?
Just come on in and say hi, talk fishing, and we'll get you entered.
So come on down, guys.
Again, thanks to everybody for helping out with that. Man, what's with the wind? Holy cow! The wind machine has been on this whole fall. I mean,
I'll tell you something though. That wind is saving us from ice. I mean, we had some real cold temperatures the past couple of days, and if we didn't have that wind, there would be guys on the ice. I know I seen pictures yesterday of guys on ice. I don't know how true it is, and I guarantee that ice wouldn't hold me. But there are a few guys that are venturing I'm not saying don't venture out. Don't venture out. Like, make the right decision, guys. Spud your way out, but there's no serious ice here yet.
Well, in Wisconsin, Minnesota, there's 3, 4, 5 inches. I've been watching. Guys are already using tip-ups out there for pike and this and that. So, boy, if it wasn't going to be a little warm-up in the next few days with some rain, I think it would be on our way.
Yeah.
It's going to be cold again Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So, you know, maybe we'll get. They're calling for a normal winter, not an extreme winter, a normal winter, whatever that means. But that'll mean, you know, Simcoe will be good and all these traditional places. So we just hope we get enough of that down here, you know.
But I do believe that our open water season isn't finished, John. I got a feeling that we're going to be trolling throughout the holidays, and I have a feeling that there's going to be guys on boats on the last day of Musky season. So
well, we can make a little bet.
Oh, here we go.
We'll bet you this nice hat, Bondi Bait hat.
Nice.
I would say that you're thinking you got your brain from 2022, 2023. I think we're in for a normal winter because we've had these cold snaps here, several in a row, and I think that you're wrong, son.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. But you know what? Slim Shady, he has a theory that one of these years we're going to be able to say we fished the whole 12 months out of the year.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen guys running their boats out there January, February, you know. Yeah. So it does happen, but wouldn't that be something?
Yeah. Never
even put the boat away. Just all year.
Johnny boy, let's talk a little bit about our season and how the fishing was right from the get-go up to now. I mean, it's I don't want to say it was an awesome year, but it was a good year. It was like an average year, I would say.
I mean, anytime you're living in this area, you're blessed.
Yeah, we are.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like a bad day here would be a good day in most places, you know. Yeah. The walleye in the spring was just on fire, you know. As long as the water was clean, it was a traditional spring, it was good. Bottom bouncing was good all through May and June. Yeah. And I think Lake Erie was a little different this year. You know, what did you find?
I found Lake Erie was the same, if not. I found Lake Erie was one of my better years. But the trick with Erie is having the right intel on the day that you're going out and communicating. Because there's days when you're trolling where you could just run out of time and never find the fish. But that's why it's good to have a few friends out there, a few people to work with. And I had a great year right from the get-go on Lake Erie. We caught some big walleye, and yeah, we had some really good times.
But you know, it's been hard this fall to get out of Erie or St. Clair. It's been so dang windy, and a lot of them fish that in their traditional fall trolling spots and stuff, they just didn't show up. Same with the river. I mean, you want to talk about a struggle.
Well, everything, I think it all boils down to the water temp and it being really late this year. Like
Yep.
The past couple weeks before we had these winds come in, I've been starting to get walleye on St. Clair, and not so much on the Canadian side, like in our shallow spots on the Canadian side, but you know, over on the U.S. side, you know, pulling a few walleye off the Delphine and that kind of area. So, I mean, but saying that, when I was fishing, the water was still in the 50s.
It took a long while to cool down, and I think that hurt everything. The shad and everything didn't show up till very late, and I can tell you, based on people coming into the store here, they weren't buying the jigs and the plastics and the planer boards this whole fall, man. They were not buying the walleye gear, but I tell you what they were buying is perch stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, God. Yeah. What a year! What a fall for perch. And
I would say 19 out of 20 people came into the store. They were perch fishermen, and I couldn't believe it.
I caught a little piece of that action, and I'm not a perch fisherman, you know, but. My buddy was telling me about it and said, let's go. So we went and on St. Clair, and what we did, we kind of cheated. We just found the boats, and then we didn't put the anchor down. We just started drifting until we started catching perch, and then threw the anchor down, and yeah, we got them pretty good. Got some nice perch. Got a great meal out of it. And
I love perch. That's my favorite fish.
Well,
I would love them.
Yeah, I do too, and everybody always says, "Oh, the perch is the best." But since I've been bleeding my walleye out, I don't find much of a difference between perch and walleye. And I'll tell you one thing: those perch took me a lot longer to clean than walleye. I mean, you got to really watch you stay on the one side of the backbone there, you know. So, yeah. But I got some great fillets out of them and a lot of great meals. So
well, we sell these frozen minnows here that we preserve and scent.
That's what we use.
I may tell you what, people
yeah.
are buying 10, 20 bags of them, all perch
wow.
fishing, pickerel rigs out there, their sinkers, and I mean that kept us going all fall because
yeah.
nothing else was happening, you know.
That's really become like a thing this year, is or maybe it's been other years as well, but this year I just started buying frozen minnows and it works.
I tell you what, me and my friends, we started trying them out for walleye on a regular basis versus a live minnow. Now, 5 years ago, you would never convince me to use a dead minnow for walleye. I mean, of course, they die quick when you put them on, but starting out dead, putting them, there's no way. When the water's like 40 degrees when you need a minnow, you know, and I'm like, and we started using these ones, and I put scent in there, and I think that's what matters, but we couldn't find a difference. You can ask all these people that come in here that have jigged for walleye with them, we couldn't find a difference between the scented frozen ones and the live ones as far as catching walleye. They really work.
And
you know?
That's what we use that day for the perch, and I'll tell you, it's nice and easy too. Like and you don't feel bad about putting the hook through the head of a minnow, you know, so
yeah.
But you know, let's talk a little bit about something else here. You know, the walleye fishing on the rivers always been a huge thing, but we're going now from the fall season becoming as big as the spring run, and there's one person that comes to mind when I think about this now.
I know what you're gonna say.
That's Jerry Toner. And she's thinking outside the box, and there might be people in the comments that say they've been doing this their whole life, but she's getting out there like right after Labor Day and catching walleye, steady walleye on the river, and some nice fish.
She's been going deep.
Yeah.
She's been fishing deep.
Yeah.
That's her secret. She's been fishing very deep in the deepest portions, and she's been able to stay on them from the entire length of the river. You know what I mean? All summer. There's plenty of fish to be caught in there.
I call her the river queen.
But you know what? Like,
she's the queen of the deep.
She's the lunch lady. She brought me a nice sub from a deli one day this summer.
Oh, just awesome. A wonderful
just
lady.
Showed up with here's your lunch.
I'm gonna have to call her today and make sure I can mention her name in this video. She won't mind. She's a good girl.
I'm just so dismayed at how the walleye bite this fall. I mean, everyone kept saying, "Oh, it's got to just cool down a little more." Well, then it did cool down a little more, and it never really. I mean, there was guys catching them by the bridge.
Yeah.
The two bridges there, and there was guys catching them a few by Belle Isle, but it should have been just a slaughter, and it never really got super hot, and that's, you know, and that's what I found my whole life, and that's why I didn't like to book a lot of walleye trips in the fall, is because it's inconsistent. You'll have several years of just great fishing, and then you'll have a year where it's a struggle bus, and that's what guys were finding this year. I mean, guys will go out. I got guys that I know that are excellent jiggers, and they would go out and blank, you know, and it shouldn't have happened, you know, and so it's just one of them.
We won't mention his name. No. Limit taker.
We won't. But I mean, how does that happen? You know, I mean, when there's 137 million walleye in the system, where the heck did they go?
Yeah.
I think they're at Saginaw Bay, or you know what I mean. But I mean, I know there was little pockets of fish. Guys were catching them every pass in small areas, at for one day, and then they go back there the next day, and there's nothing there. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
and fall-time fishing, I'm learning. I mean, it's a learning curve, guys. But I am noticing that you will not get the fish in the shallows like you do unless you go at night. But it seems like, for me at any rate, I can't buy those fish in the fall in the shallows. Like, they're all in that deep water. And in the springtime, I can catch them in 9 feet of water sometimes jigging.
Well, I went night fishing a couple times this fall.
Yeah.
In traditional, good night fishing areas, casting. And I didn't do well. I may got 1, 2, 3 fish. wasn't good. Wasn't a deal where you know, like you normally, where you get all your limits.
That's why we didn't see a post on Facebook.
Oh, it wasn't good, man. So I don't know. You know, I'm sure it'll be on fire in 3 months from now. So we'll just have to wait. But
I think it was a decent fall though overall. Like, and back to what you're saying, this year was a little bit different than last year. Last year was hot. The theory behind it is a lot of guys feel like the water was too warm for too long, and then it just dropped like a rock, and then we had those winds and nobody was getting out. So where last year it was like a steady fall. You know?
I think that theory is as good as any.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen, when you see it like 70 degrees on the 1st of October, you know, that's never a good sign. I've seen that before too. You need it to be down, and it all of a sudden it sank like a rock. But I don't think the fish were in there. I think I don't know, maybe they just, like I say, I go back to the previous videos. We don't really know anything about fishing compared to what we think we know. We would have been on these fish. We should have been on these fish, but we don't really. We know 5% of what these fish do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we all got our theories of it, but deep down, I mean, the fish are going to do what they're going to do, and every year's different.
Yeah.
Now, we've touched on the walleye a bit. Let's talk about, and I don't musky fish much anymore, but let's talk about the musky season. I've heard some of the local guides out there saying this year was tough for musky. You're a guide for musky. What do you feel about it?
Well, I fished pretty much every day in the month of June, and it was fantastic. June was fantastic. And when we hit midsummer, it really was not that good for me. Like the western half of the lake, definitely not happening. That's been my experience this year. June, you know, I'm in the river, and one of the best.
I know where you're at in the river.
Don't talk about it.
I've followed you before.
Hey, I'm talking. I'm talking about the Thames River.
Ah, yeah. River Canard.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Fantastic year. Next year's already fully booked for that month. Last couple years, it's been great. And in fact, ever since the water got high there, even though it's come back down, the fishing's been fantastic. And then we hit midsummer, and I got kicked in the teeth.
Yeah.
You know, and in the fall, the fall was okay, but based on the catches in the musky brawl, you can see a lot of people were struggling.
Yeah.
You know, they caught like a quarter.
Hey, wasn't that musky brawl won on a Bondi?
First and second place.
Hey, there we go.
Fishing. I watched them catch them all.
Yeah,
much.
good for you, man.
But it was terrible. The fishing was not that good in the fall. You had little spurts of good bites, but the water was too clear a lot of days. The shad weren't showing up till that water temperature dropped. And I don't know. The first half of the year was the highlight for me on that, and I filmed a TV show with in-fishermen.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch that. And you had a couple great days with them, I heard.
A couple big ones there, and
I can't say much because
that'll be out
there's a gag order on this. No,
it was a good time, and this is my second time doing that with them. The first time was right around when we had the big musky die-off.
Okay.
Like 2009 or whatever, and we caught some, but it wasn't like this one. So that was a highlight for me, was having that work out, because it could have gone the other way. You know, when you're musky fishing and trying to film a TV show, it could be a disaster. You know, and the guys drove from Minnesota, so we just got lucky.
Let's just give them a little hint, because I don't even know, and you don't have to answer this, but is it going to be a river show, or is it, there we go.
It's in the current.
Stay tuned, guys. Watch In Fisherman, because there's going to be some good footage coming soon.
We had a blast. because
make sure you look for the background.
You know, I grew up on In Fisherman, and I grew up watching In Fisherman. That's where I learned to fish. You know, we didn't have YouTube and things like that, and you know, it's just awesome. It was awesome.
Fisherman, Italo and Henry, Bob Azumi,
all them guys. That's how we learned to fish. You know, there was
Hank Parker. You remember him?
You know what the crazy thing? When I started guiding, there was no website I didn't have a website.
Daryl Cronzy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how long ago. That's how old I am.
I know. Well, we
Think
were,
about that. I had a flyer.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
how I advertised.
We're not.
That's
young.
nuts.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you just make a page and off you go.
We're not going to keep you because there are a couple people last year that said, can you shorten your videos up a little bit? But I do want to touch on one more thing while I got Johnny here that we didn't talk about, and that's the bass season. What would you say about the bass season, John?
Not that great. I mean,
I didn't hear about those big Lake St. Clair bags like usual this year.
I mean, for me personally, not that great. There's the shallow bite never really was that great. A lot of little ones.
Yeah.
But
there's a handful of boys that I used to tournament fish against that I still see them posting some nice bags on Facebook there, and they're diehards when it comes to it. But
you know what, the guys that are catching all the big bass, they're out there perch fishing.
Yeah.
And the bass are in there eating them perch. And if you're out there off Bell River and places like that, if you want to find the bass, find them perch, man, for sure. But I don't know. This year was a weird summer overall, at least on the western half of the lake.
Yeah.
You know.
It was I don't know.
Next year it'll be back to normal. You know. Hopefully you'll get it normal once we get rid of this 2 feet of ice that's coming.
Yeah.
You know, and
I will touch on this, guys, too. The central basin of Lake Erie was on fire this year. Lots of fish caught, lots of rainbows.
Oh yeah, that's one thing
you
too. In the store here, we sold a ton of stuff for rainbows.
Yeah.
We sold out of Dipsy Divers. Only have a few spoons left. So that, you know, based on what people are coming in here, you can just tell what the bite's like. You know.
2 things for 2024 that John grew a bit, and that's your trolling gear and your hand lining gear, and you're going to build that even more for 2025, right?
Anybody knows anybody at A&S over there, I've been emailing them. I'm trying to get some hand lining reels in here.
Yeah.
And I've got no contact there. So
you know who might be able to help you? Maybe like DipNet or something. Give them a call. They might be able to help you out with that.
Did you see the DipNet video?
Yeah, about Pound Town?
Oh my!
They're great people.
They were on channel 2.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was laughing. I was watching that last night. You gotta watch it.
I had the joy of going over there and meeting Christy and Rich, and they're just such great people. And I actually talked to Christy's. I got your British guy on my mind, Crispy, but no, Christy's husband. I talked to him a little bit on Facebook there, and he's a great fisherman. And you want to know something? He's dialed in for fall fishing for walleye on the river. He's probably like one of my go-tos. If I'm out on the river looking for fish and I'm struggling, I'll make a phone call and see if I could get a little, I'll look for him out there.
You got that network.
Yeah, well,
they say this is Big John, and they just
no,
give it all over to you.
Yeah,
right?
But sometimes these guys will be out there jigging in the fall, and I'll sneak right in there with my hand line while they're doing it.
How was the hand line bite this year? Now you're talking about like.
So the hand line it was a good spring, and I dabbled with it a little bit in the fall, and I got a few, but not as much as the spring. But and I went off course a little bit with hand lining this year and tried some new things. Like for me, it's always been traditional. You got your repellers, you got your spoons,
spinners.
Then you got your spinners and worms. Well, this year I started pulling those moon eyes by Yele Lures, and oh my God, in the spring when those walleye want those big number 11 repellers, you put a moon eye on there.
That's a perfect bait.
Oh, there, yeah. I'll throw a little picture of the hot bait.
You got little clips of you using them too.
Oh yeah, and they're great people as well, and not only they're moon eyes guys, but they're hooligans.
Big stuff.
They're great lures. Like I use them on Erie, I use them on St. Clair, and the thing I like about the moon eyes and the hooligans is they got 2 hooks and not 3. It doesn't stick in the net nice, but the fish still grab it. They got the key points to grab, and
they're already they're committed to coming. They're coming back to the open house this year.
Oh, good. Yeah, great people. And with that being said, Slim Shady, You know, I've been using his lures a lot. So a lot of great people out there, a lot of great bait builders. And we're going to try and cover some of them on the Grateful Anglers this winter. And if you guys want to come in and talk about your lures, maybe we can fit you in on the show.
Yeah,
but we are back.
We are back. Hey, what's this?
Yeah. Look at this, eh?
I went and did a seminar for Lake St. Clair Walleye Association. First thing I get when I walk in the door, have you seen Big John? How's Big John? I want him to have our hat. Give him one of our hats. So thanks.
Really?
Yeah.
That's for me?
Yeah.
Aw, thanks, guys.
What a bunch of great guys. It was probably about maybe 80 people there. Yeah, what a great group.
Oh.
If you wanna, they've been around since like 76.
Thank you very much.
Something.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear this with pride.
Yeah, maybe on the next video.
You know what?
That's a great group.
I'm not an ex-hunter because I still have my hunt license and everything, but I haven't hunted the past 10 years. I think it's a monetary issue, but I still love camouflage, and thank you guys very much. I appreciate that.
Give them look them up on Facebook, Lake St. Clair Walleye Association. Give them a follow. It's just a great group. They do a lot for kids and stuff like that. That's one of their main focuses.
Yep.
But we got an open house this year coming up. It's
another open. What a great turnout last year. Oh, it's a 2-day?
It was crazy. March 7th and 8th.
I'm gonna tell John right now though, if the fishing is on fire, maybe I'll be there. I'll be there for one of the 2 days.
Fishing. Ice fishing. Ice fishing.
We'll see. Maybe this year, maybe we'll have some hats and stuff there at the show. I don't know if we're gonna be at that level yet with the great changing my voice with the coffee. Hang on. There we go. I don't know if we're going to be at that level this year with where we got shirts and hats, but the Grateful Anglers is growing. We got 1,000 and maybe 300 subscribers or something like that. I got to look at that. I haven't edited a Grateful Anglers podcast in since last March, I think. So
yeah, well,
got to get back on that.
We like to fish. So when there's open water, we're usually fishing. We don't have time to do the video, but we're back.
We are back, man.
If you guys got any ideas on what you wanted us to discuss or guests you want to have in, just let us know in the comments.
Yeah, Johnny will call me throughout the weekend. He'll say, what about this? And when I first talk to him, I always think he's crazy, and I say, no. But then I go home, I lay in bed, I think about it a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, we could do a show on that, and then we tweak it a little bit, and
yeah,
we had some great people on here last year.
Yep, no, it's a good time, and people in this area, they need more podcasts. I'm shocked at the amount of people that watch and listen to podcasts is astronomical. I mean, it is a big thing. I don't have time for it, but my wife is nonstop with the podcasts, and all the youngsters are into it. So, but you want to mention the tragic loss of the blue collar angling?
Yeah, geez, condolences to the family. It's just terrible, and I never got to meet him, but he always looked like a happy-go-lucky type of guy, and I feel like everybody loved him, So.
He come in here, and I know Dominic Giannotti knew him well, and just you don't like to hear that, especially when he's such a young guy, Yeah. But it's a tragic loss. Yeah,
really, really terrible. So
prayers for the family.
Prayers and condolences to the family, and yeah.
You never know. Every day's a gift.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Well, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back probably in another week for another episode of Grateful Anglers.
Cheers. Love yous all. Be positive. The Johns are out. The Johns.